Hey, everybody. Welcome to the post-show interview of show 1814. We had guest Mark Norman on. What's up?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you were very funny and seem to be agreeing a lot with Keith today.
And you're right.
There you go.
Do you feel like you learned a lot about the sexes and genders and queer things? And
Oh, yeah. I always learn a ton when I come here because you're very open about questions. A lot of people get offended when I ask questions, but I'm just trying to learn. You
I
know?
actually like your questions, and it also reminds me how different people feel, like in terms of the different genders. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, guys still feel that way, or they think this way, or maybe you don't know because you get people offended all the time. I feel like you should ask these questions.
I think when I know Mark's personality, and you know it. Listen to the whole show from this, but I picture Mark asking a question that he means it. But I know people do this to me sometimes, and they act offended. I don't think that they're necessarily offended by your question. For example, let me just make something up. What does a guy have to pay on the first date if you want everything to be, if you want to be respected and equal? And people go like, it's stupid. I'm not even going to answer that.
Right.
I'm angry. Because they don't really know the answer. And so they put you down a little bit so that they look smarter. You
Right.
don't even know that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Actually,
Maybe.
and
Meanwhile, you can tell he's almost like an idiot. He's like a child. And he's like, I'm really asking
Yeah,
this. And
exactly.
It's like, you need to grow up. Well, no one's helping him.
Yes. How am I going to learn?
Because they don't know why.
I guess
they
so.
just know they're like, for some reason that doesn't sound right. I'm going to take the easy out.
But
yeah,
like,
go ahead.
well, one time I asked a
Ladies
black
first.
guy. One time I asked a black guy, a friend of mine. I was like, "What's with the not swimming thing? Like, you guys are the best athletes. Like, why can't you swim?"
Right.
And everybody's like, "Oh my God, what are you insane? You racist bastard! What do you take it easy? I can't believe you said that." And then he was like, "No, we just grew up or not around pools. We don't really go out to the lake or anything. It's just not part of our." Childhood. And I was like, great, got the answer. Now I can move on.
Right. And by the way, the other people that are like, oh, why'd you ask that, Mark? They're like, but please answer.
Yeah, exactly. They got to look like the right guy.
You're the scapegoat for that. And I know, Keith, you were maybe taking that question out of your ass. Who pays on the first date? Why
Right.
do guys have to pay? I think that's a legitimate question.
Right.
Yeah.
I think, in terms of like, hey, what do I do? If it's, growing up, you're taught, one way or another from your parents. Then you go out into the world. How is your dating life?
Good.
Yeah. Has anyone ever slapped you across the face for questions?
I got one slap on the face and one drink in the face.
What was the drink in the face?
The drink in the face was, I asked this girl, I said, hey, I heard you're pretty good with the oral.
Right.
And that was it. It's not really a question. And then she just threw the drink in my face. And I was like, that's what I heard. Like, what? I'm the one
Okay.
telling you.
That's
different.
her way of not just blowing you. This is what I'm talking
Right.
about.
And she gets to look like the bigger lady.
Yeah.
She's the hero.
Mature.
Right.
Meanwhile,
Why'd you
she's
get-
at home going, I wish I could be blowing him now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wait, why'd you get slapped in the face?
The slap was a comic, funny comic. I'm not going to say her name, but she was booked on a show, and then the next week she was booked on the same show a week later. And I was like, wow, you got booked twice in a row. That's like unheard of.
I guess you're good at oral.
Well, I said, oh, it must be because you're a woman, and they needed a woman. And she fucking went nuts and slapped me. And then I was like, well, you need a woman on the show. And I asked the host, and he was like, yeah, we need a woman. And I was like, oh, so I'm the bad guy because I pointed it out.
Well, there's something about tact. There's something about asking questions in an atmosphere that welcomes it, and there's another
Right.
thing about tact
If
and
she's always
social
put
grace.
down for being a woman,
I guess.
it's not her fault to assume that was negative.
Right. Which it wasn't, but
Right.
that's why she was
Well,
booked.
it is negative because you said, oh, they just need a woman. It doesn't matter who it is. I guess they chose you.
Well, I told her she was funny. I'm like, well, you're funny and you're a woman, so there you go.
What if you
You're the worst.
What if you
See? Why? I'm just saying it how it is.
What if you wore a shirt and it said on it like "I'm legit," and it'd be like, "Oh yeah, I get it. He's for real."
I don't know if that would work.
Right.
That would look like I was trying to be hip or something.
I
That's
see.
true,
And
yeah.
and then it goes on like smaller letters. I'm not just trying to be hit. I'm saying I'm the real deal, genuine article,
Right,
but not
right.
the American standard like an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm a ...
It would be like book titles nowadays.
Right,
They have to have like the
right.
main thing and then this whole
Yeah.
3-sentence subtitle.
Well, that's another thing. People always are like, you got to be more genuine, Mark. You seem so insincere, so phony. If I'm sincere, I get my ass kicked. You know? So I'm trying to cover my own ass and not die.
Is it do you know, like you always seem to have a smile on your face, even during the show when you told a story about your parent, you're 13, 14, you're not home at the time, but your parents are robbed, they're tied up with their own neckties, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You have the Mark Norman grin on the whole time.
Did I?
Yeah.
I'm not aware.
Okay.
Yeah. See, maybe that's part of it.
let's really get into your brain. Let's psychoanalyze
okay.
you for real.
Where was
Keith is
this
going
on
to
the
pass you
real
this
show?
piece of paper, and I want to know, and the listeners want to know, what do you see in this ink blot?
It looks like a Pac-Man character, or just like a Donnie Darko bad guy kind of thing. I don't see much. It looks kind of like a little demon.
Kind of going with today's show. Whoever runs this puppet, I don't trust him.
Right? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't trust whoever even made this ink blot, to be honest.
No.
Well, tell us in the comments what you think this ink blot looks like. What do you think about Mark for what he thinks about it? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Did you hear the show? What did you think about it? And don't forget to pass the word around. Go to keithandthegirl.com. Thank you for listening.
KeithAndTheGirl.com